So in today's video, I'm sharing how to let go of someone you love in 10 steps. And even if you don't want to let go of someone, this video is going to help. But first, if you're new, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist and I love helping people create relationships that work. So the very first thing you need to do when you're trying to let go of someone you love is to start separating your emotional energy from theirs. Okay, you can do this visually and you can do this physically. Visually, I would want you to close your eyes and imagine that person going further and further away from you. This is a really good practice to do when you're not ready to let go yet, because you're going to practice letting go. So I want you to close your eyes and just imagine that person outside of your realm. Maybe they're in the next room. Maybe they're down the block. Maybe they're in another city. You can do this at your own pace. But part of what this is going to do is it's going to start helping you separate emotionally from that person, even if you're not ready to let go yet. So the next step I want you to do is examine the relationship for what didn't work for you. Because whenever we have to let go of someone, there's a lot of lessons involved in that. And I want you to understand so you don't have to repeat the lesson. So this is going to be maybe a writing exercise where you write out, what were the good parts of the relationship? What were the parts that didn't work for you? What were the things you could have done better? Because all of those are really important lessons that you can take into your next relationship and make it even healthier. The next step I want you to do is let yourself feel the grief. This is a very difficult process. I've been through it myself, and I know the resistance attached to it. You probably don't want to let go, and that's okay. But little by little, I want you to let yourself feel the sadness. Even if it's the fear of letting go, I want you to let that start to surface. Because the more you can start to embrace the pain of letting go and the grief attached with it, the further along you're going to be in your healing. Because we can't let go of someone if we can't let go emotionally. And that's part of the work. The next step I want you to do is use writing to tell your story, because this can really help shift your perspective over time. Keep a journal just for letting go of this relationship and what's coming up for you now, because writing is a great way to handle resistance, to express really important feelings and thoughts that you may not want to share with anybody else. And it's really a way you can do your own healing, which is why I've created so many journals, because it is something you can do for yourself. If you've ever kept a journal, say me too in the comments, because I'm right there with you. I love journaling. The next step I want you to do is don't get into their head and assume what they're thinking. Because when we're in the process of letting go, we tend to assume the worst. We tend to think, oh, they don't love us anymore, they don't care about us, I'm hurting more than they are. We tell ourselves a lot of nasty crap. And it's just not true. You don't know what that other person is saying or thinking about you. And honestly, you want to get out of their head, because that's part of how we spin emotionally and stay connected to them. So I want you to really refocus your energy back on you and what you're thinking and what you're experiencing in the moment, not what you think they are, because that's a really important part of letting go. The next step is I want you to start visualizing them moving away from you and wishing them well. This is a little bit further step than step one, where I want you to just imagine them leaving your energy and imagine that you still love them and you're wishing them well. Even if you're hurt or even if you're angry, we want to wish them well because we want to do this in a nice, kind way. So this part you may have to act as if, but that's okay. You just want to send them on their way and say, I wish you well. I hope you have a good life. And that also can be a very important practice for letting go. The next step that's super important is I want you to find the right support, because family and friends may or may not give you the support you need. And I always tend to recommend Al-Anon, which is a 12-step program for friends and families of alcoholics, but they also deal with dysfunction from families and toxic relationships. You can find therapy groups if you want something more private and in person. You can create your own friends group for people who are having difficulty letting go. But it's really important to make sure you have enough support, because grieving and letting go is a long and difficult process, and it's not meant to be done in isolation. The next step I want you to do is focus on what you can control, which is what you think and what you do each day for yourself. You can't control the nature of the relationship. You can't control when you're even going to let go because there's a willingness component there. And if you're still in resistance, that's okay. Maybe your focus today is on taking care of yourself, or having less contact, or reaching out to a friend, or doing some writing, doing things for you to heal instead of always focusing on the relationship. That's a really important part for how to let go of someone you love. So the next step is I want you to increase your self-care and find some healthy comforts, because those healthy comforts are going to help you avoid self-destructive behavior like drinking too much or binge eating or gambling, doing things that are really not good for you but in the moment might feel good. So what I mean by healthy comforts are friends, reading, cozying up with a warm blanket, watching your favorite TV show, doing something that feels good that doesn't harm you. That's a super important part of the process of grieving, because you need to have those healthy comforts so that you can heal. And the last step is be gentle on yourself. Letting go is not something that happens quickly or easily. There's usually a lot of resistance to it, and that's okay. I want you to give yourself a lot of grace during this process, because it's really not fair for you to expect yourself to be further along than you are, because I guarantee if you're having trouble letting go, there's a reason for that, and I want you to honor that. So maybe that's the only thing you can do today, is to just honor how you feel right now in this moment. That's healing. That is on the path of how to let go of someone you love. So the next step I want you to do is I want you to go watch my video on detachment, because that's going to help you a lot. Thanks so much.